Montessori First Operations because it was released last week. And it's a great introduction to addition, subtraction, and an initiation to multiplication and division using halves and doubles. So we don't talk about multiplying and dividing, but we introduce them to making halves and making doubles, which is the same thing, basically. And it has a cool monster lab. And I wanted to talk about that because it's a reward, but it uses addition and subtraction because you earn points as you play, and then you have to go into the shop and decide how much money, do you have enough points to buy the parts, and how many points you need to earn if you want to buy the parts. And then you go, once you've bought some parts, you go into the lab and you make your monsters with whatever parts you've bought, and you can then use it as your avatar or just blow it up into bits and start over. So that's for Montessori First Operation. The other one that I wanted to talk to you about is Easy Studio, because it's not so much in the education section. It is in the education section, but it's more of a creativity app. And it's got great scaffolding, because we've been talking about scaffolding, that's what I wanted to show you. There's an easy mode. And what we do now, because we do most of our apps in 11 languages, is we have little tutorials like that that don't need any speech. You just watch and learn how to use the app. So it shows you the basic steps. And once you've seen how to do that, then you have the choice between a couple of pictures that help you build a little animated film of your own. So you just drag and drop, and you see how you don't have to put it exactly on top of the shape. Nobody cares. It's creativity, right? So you do like that, and you take a picture, and then the shapes move slightly, so you drag them slightly like that, and so on and so forth, until I prepared it this morning to show you, until you get your first little creation that looks like this.
Nice.
So, again, the easy one goes into more difficult levels, because if you do the engine, then first of all there are more parts, and second of all, as you do it, it takes longer and longer to build, but then you have an actual engine that goes in a loop on the screen. So that's the easy part. And then once you've mastered the concept of animation, then you go into the expert level, and the expert level is just full of shapes for you to create characters or images. So let's make a tree, for instance.
I usually don't tell people what I'm making until I'm done.
Well, I rehearsed this morning.
You're confident about the truth of it.
So we have nice features where you can just double tap and it just creates a copy, for instance. And then you can also group your tree. And so we'll make the tree grow. So I take a picture, make it grow slightly, and again. And if you move it by mistake, there's a shadow on the screen to show you where you used to be, so that you remember. And again. And so you can see what you've done. It's very basic, but... And there's an edit mode in which you can go and make some changes. And again, a bit of scaffolding for those that might be intimidated by the expert mode and don't know where to start. Then you can get a template, and you just fill the template with the geometrical shapes, and then you can animate it by yourself. And then you can record and go in the library, of course, and either edit from the library or share to your friends. But what we decided is the sharing option just exports the film to the camera roll, so then you decide whatever you want to do. You can send it, you can put it in an email, put it on Facebook, whatever. And then in the settings, what we're trying to do now is allow the parent to disable all the internet links There are 3 speeds to play your movie at, and it's for those of you who are very good graphic designers, you can add shadows to the shapes, and it really adds a depth to. So a lot of adults have been sending us movies, the little films that they've been making. So I guess my question to you this morning about Easy Studio is it's not as easy for us to market as all our other apps that are very like 3 to 6 year old or 6 to 8 year old. This one is more open-ended, and my question to you is, do you think it belongs in the education category?
So, about 40 years ago, my father gave me a Super 8 camera, and I made cartoons with something that was similar like this. And that defines my career. 30 years in making movies, animation, until I started this. So, I love this. I'm going to give it to my kid. And
we also wanted kids to discover another, I don't know what the word is in English, job, you know? You know how you always hear about lawyers and doctors and teachers and French, but this is actually a job, how to make an animated film. And they watch cartoon all the time, but they don't know how they're made.
All right, here it goes. Saying this is an educational saying, like crayons aren't educational. They can be entertaining and educational. So, and man, oh man, could I do things with this with teachers. Because we already do tons of sequencing, putting things in order, organizing thoughts, illustrating concepts, and you can do all this with that.
I think Gail and Chris would agree with me that the U.S. Market is a sleeping giant, and that they're waking up and getting iPads and they're hungry for content. So having stuff like this, if you hit it, it's good.
That's one of the strategies for learning shapes, is by identifying them in the real world. So having them using them.
That's correct. That's how this app came about, because our previous app is called Montessori Geometry, where we were teaching kids the names of all the shapes. And then we thought, okay, that's nice, but let's transport these shapes and turn them into real things that children know. And we wanted to have dogs and men in there, and the graphic designer said, no, let them create everything, because then they have to think more.
I guess from an artist perspective, that when you're taught art at basic levels, also at around this age when you're playing, you're taught how to break down something into its shapes, and you're able to draw something because you realize it's a combination of 4 triangles, 2 rectangles, 2 tiny or circles in a line. And all of a sudden the child goes, wow, I can draw a squirrel. I can draw this, I can draw that, because it makes them look at the world in a different way. Because you see all the shapes all around you and you realize, you know what, I could draw that, I could do that, I could do that.
Well, it's the same, one of my sons has dyspraxia, and so he thinks he can't draw. But if you split it down into all the shapes, then he can do, all of a sudden he can do it. Well, thank you very much.
From a neurolinguist to animator, it's awesome. Thank you. Yeah. And this is just the end.